Musical form. A musical form is a collection of musical materials presented in a preset order. The form always involves alternating patterns of repetition and variety. Convoluted sentence is that, to be sure. A preset order. One of the things that see that, name me something else that has a form to it, that has a preset order of things. Besides music, what other things in our lives have a preset order? One of the things I want to get across that music is a lot like game playing. Imagine that you are a visitor from the planet Aquahakdahugam in the nebula of Isis Voigat. And you come down and you see a baseball game. And you say to your partner, which translated means, why are they hurting that little small person, that round person? Why are they beating him with this stick? Now, if you understood the rules of baseball and understood that the guy's supposed to throw the ball and he's supposed to hit it and he's supposed to run around, then you'd be able to understand what's going on. You would understand the game. But if you had no clue what the rules of the game were, then you couldn't participate in the process. So you couldn't know why everybody stands up when the ball goes in the bleachers, and why you wouldn't understand why the pitcher is yelling at the umpire or something like that. Now I have another little gag I like to do. How many have ever seen a horror movie, a Dracula movie? You ever seen the Dracula movie? You never seen a Dracula movie, never seen a horror movie, never seen a scary movie with a ghost or a werewolf or a monster or something?
Yeah.
Okay, well, imagine that you see this. Now, what usually happens after you see this is you see this. Right? One thing leads to another. Well, how do you know that? Well, because you've seen more than one horror movie, and they all have the same formula. It's a formula. One thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. Now, what happens if you see this? And then you see this. It's still part of the game. The reason that that's funny is because you're expecting one thing and you get another thing. Why are you expecting one thing and not another? Because you've seen more than one of these. Now, a musical form is like that. If I do this, what's next? That's an example of a musical form. It's an expectation. We do one thing, then we expect to see something else. Now, that's the tiniest possible musical form. But it's very much like what we're going to be learning in this class. There's lots of patterns. There's lots of games that composers play. And when you learn the games, you can get in. See, the thing is, how many have heard somebody, certainly nobody in this class has ever said this, but you must have heard somebody say, classical music is so boring. How many have heard that? There must be somebody has heard that.
Yes.
Well, I say to the octillion quadrupum from planet Isoblock, baseball's not boring if you know the rules. And I say to all those people who say that classical music is boring, obviously you don't know the game. So my job here for the next 14 weeks is to teach you the games. And once you get into the games, it's way more interesting than baseball. Because there's more things can go wrong. More things can go right. More things can happen in a musical piece than ever was dreamed in a baseball game. Because the rules are more complicated. Anyway, it's really fun. I can't wait. Now, Musical forms are very similar to the forms found in literature, and many of the formal designations for musical elements have precise analogs with written language. Let's begin with this word, architectonic level. Architect refers to what?
Structure.
Structure. And tonic
Sound.
refers to sound. So an architectonic level is a level of sound structure. And the following chart illustrates how similar musical forms are to literary forms. I think that's my mind's a blank. Give me a word. Duplicate. Dup is a syllable. Plic is a syllable. And cut is a syllable. Duplicate makes a word. So, that is a three-note word. So, a combination of syllables makes a motive. Now, I just played you a few minutes ago. The most famous motive in music history is it's a very small little figure, and Beethoven, everybody knows this is the Beethoven Fifth Symphony, right? It goes like this. It goes on. Then it leaves it right there. But how many times was that? Well, at least 15, 20 times he says ba 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 ba. He makes the thing about Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. He says, "Thus doth fate knock at the door." Ba 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 ba. So, what is fate saying? You are. Oh, here I come. Okay, he's saying, "Oh, here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh, here I come. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh, here I come. Here I come. Here I come. Here I come. Here I come." Right? And then it stops, and it goes on, and it keeps saying that one thing over and over and over. Out of these repetitions of this motive comes a phrase. It may not even be a very interesting or complex phrase, but you know what a phrase is. Once upon a time there was a little dog, and the dog went over the hill. That's two phrases. Once upon there was a dog went over the hill. The two make a sentence. A musical sentence is called a period. We know what a paragraph is. A musical section is equivalent to a paragraph. In a multi-movement work, a work that has more than one part where you have to stop and turn the page and start again, the audience invariably, especially in Glen Allen, will clap there. They're not supposed to. That's a movement. And then the entire work is equivalent to the book. You will be this is one of the things you will be tested on, okay? Remember I told you I would let you know what you need to be studying? This little chart here will be on your first test. To be able to distinguish which one of these, the question is something like, which one of these is an architectonic level or something like that. So associate these terms, note, motive, phrase, period, section, movement, and work, with architectonic levels. Okay? Going on. Let's examine a simple piece like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star and see if there's a recognizable form. Let's see if this works. Uh-oh. I was afraid of this. a musical pattern. It's 7 notes, 6 quarters and a half. Dot, 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 dot. It goes mostly up. Now, in a simple piece like this, actually, the motive is just about the same thing as the first phrase. The phrase and the motive are practically the same thing. You can see that, can't you? The next phrase is again it's 7 notes, quarter, 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 half. That makes it the same motive, right? Because the rhythm is exactly the same. Motive is very associated with rhythm, more so than melody, really. For instance, look at this. That's a different set of intervals every time. That goes down a lot. This goes down a little. This goes up and comes down. So the melody, the pitch pattern is different for every one, but it's recognizable as the same motive because the rhythm is the same. So this is recognizable as related to this. Right? So we ask a question. What are you going to do tonight? I think I'll go and watch TV. First phrase, second phrase, musical sentence.
I don't understand what you're saying by that, Mr. Freeman-Toll.
I'm trying to tell you that your beginning of musical understanding depends on your ability to notice, to understand the grammar or the syntax of the music. Music is not just a stream of notes indistinguishable from each other. They divide themselves naturally into units, just like words do. Words, phrases, sentences, paragraphs. This is a phrase. Once there was a little dog who went downtown and peed on a log.
Okay, I
First
get what
phrase,
you mean.
second, huh?
I get what you mean now.
Okay, it's a musical sentence. And look, when somebody's talking to you, you automatically, the reason we take breaths. I mean, if I talked to you like this and never took a breath between everything, you could never tell my ideas from each other because they were all smeared together, and your brain needs a little place for you to organize into little pieces. All thoughts are made up of units. And when I talk to you, I put a pause where the end of a thought is. And then I go on to the next thought, and there's a pause after that one. And the pauses help us organize our thinking so that one idea leads to another idea, leads to another idea. If I were giving you directions, you say, go down here and then go down and turn right and then turn left and then right and turn left. Screw that. Go down here and then turn left to the Tasty Freeze and then turn right. Don't run over the dog. Turn left again and then at the tree, turn right. Those instructions lead to a single concept, which is how to get to somebody's house. A piece of music is the same way. A piece of music has units which build on each other, and out of this structure becomes a larger thought. It's not just little tiny thoughts; it's bigger thoughts. Now, there's not a very deep thought here in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but it's made the same way pieces with bigger thoughts are. So. First phrase, second phrase. Now, that's the first sentence. Now, the second sentence goes like this. It is the same thing twice. Now, once again, it's based on the same motive. Dot, 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 dot. Because the rhythm's the same. The melody's a little bit different. That's why it sounds like it's a new sentence. If the melody weren't the same, it would sound like it's the same sentence. So, but the thing to notice is that whereas the first sentence has two parts that are different, that one goes up, this one goes down. The second sentence has two parts that are the same. Oh, sorry, it's that makes it different. And then, what happens? What happens next? You get the exact same thing as the beginning. Okay? Now, let's take a look at this chart here. Period means sentence, right? So the first period is this top 4 bars. Right? Now, phrase A is motive A, right? Phrase B is actually motive A. But we're calling it motive B because motive A goes up and motive B goes down. Okay? Now, phrase C is the same thing as motive B because it goes down. So we got motive A, motive B, motive B, motive B. Right? Phrase A, phrase B, phrase C, and phrase C. These two are the same. So they get the same letter. Understand me? And then, starting again, period A is the same as it was up here. So the large-scale form of this is A, B, A. ABA is the oldest musical form in the world, the most durable, the most universal, probably the best. It's called song form. ABA is song form. There are very, very few songs that don't sound like that. Now, I would so like to play this. That's such a drag. Okay. All right, okay, so that's clear enough. Is that clear enough? Everybody understand what I'm trying to tell you here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. How many know the tune All of Me? Does that sound familiar to anybody?
Vaguely.
Have you heard this song?
No.
Oh, you never heard it? Okay, let me show it to you. I think what I might have to seen it yet. Here we go. Okay, here's All of Me. Notice it has a motive. Da da da. Let's just take a look at the rhythms that make up the motive. It's a dotted quarter, eighth, half note. Now, look here. Dotted quarter, eighth, half note. Does anybody not follow me? Again, dotted quarter, eighth, half note. Dotted quarter, eighth, half note. Dotted quarter, eighth, half note. They all, over and over and over, you have the same motive. Now, Is this a boring song? Can you read the words?
Okay.
But let's take a look at this tune. All of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Now, it's very repetitious. What is it that makes it not completely boring? Well, I mean, if I did this, now that would be boring. This isn't quite the same level of boring because why?
Because there's other phrases? Is that why?
Because why?
There's other phrases? Is that what you're talking about?
What is it that makes it?
There's more structure to it.
Well, what is it? What?
Different notes.
Huh?
Different notes.
Different notes. There's different chords and different notes. It's the same rhythm repeated, but the notes change, and we go from one chord to another, and that's what makes it seem like it's moving. Right? So even though we're doing the same motive over and over, what makes it sound different is the harmony. The harmony is making it different. Also, there's one other thing. That right there is the only other thing besides that first A motive. Da 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 da. See what I'm telling you? Da da da, same. Da 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 da, same. Da da da, same. Da 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 da. There's something different. So how we would analyze this in this analysis system I've been showing you would be we have A, come on. All of me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? It goes A, B is different. And then again, take my lips. I want to lose them. Now it's getting trickier now, huh? Take my arms. I'll never use them. So it starts to be a little bit trickier than just A. It's also trickier than A, B. So does everybody follow me? Here's your A. Here's your A. Here's your A. Here's your B. Here's your A. Here's your B. You see why this is B? Can you see how this and this are the same? All you got to do is look at the rhythm. Wesley, all you got to do is look at the half notes and the half notes. You see they're the same? That's what makes it the same motive. That's what makes it put a B on both of them. With me?
Yes.
Good boy. Okay. Here's A, and here's. This is almost a C, isn't it? Why is that?
Because it's missing that.
Because it's two whole notes. It's really not that different, but if you wanted to get tricky about it, if you wanted to get picky about it, you could call that C, and that would add a variety. So that would A, B, A, O, A, C. That's an even slightly more complex form. Okay, then it starts to get, and by the way, let's call this A, and this B. Now this is, the architectonic level here is at the level of the period, the sentence, and this architectonic here is at the level of the section. You see what I'm saying here? There are different levels of A's and B's which make more and less more complicated structures. Am I making sense? Okay, going on. Here's another A, and here's another B. Here's another A, Wait a minute, I did it wrong. This is an A. A, B. A, B. Now tell me what you see. At the level of the
Repeating
section.
the pattern.
That's right, good girl. This is a big A. This A is the same as that A. Now, what about this? You took the part. If this computer would work right, you wouldn't have to hear me sing. What do you call that? Come on, Altoid, for somebody to give me the right answer to this. What is this?
D.
This is a D. There you go.
That's okay.
Okay. You took the part. Now what's this? That once was my heart. What's that?
D again. Is a D
That's
again.
another D. Very good. Oh, you're an Altoid. Good girl. Why not take all of me? Now that is pretty close to D, but it's actually, technically speaking, it's as much different from D as this C is from B. So let's call this E. So the total form for this is D, D, E. So that makes the total form of the song A, B, A, C. Now, so what? So what, you say? Well, the so what is that by being able to identify the structures of within the piece internally, we're able to start seeing the look. Remember I told you about the bunny? Tearing apart the bunny? Now, what we just did now is we tore apart the bunny. We took it apart and put it in little pieces and saw how each one of the pieces relates to the whole, and then we put it back together. Now, this should improve your understanding of the piece. For one thing, it's going to allow you to anticipate. See that coming? If you can see it coming, it feels. I'll do the pencil trick. Emily, you know the pencil trick? Don't tell anybody. Here, Daniel, will you hold this for me? No, take this. Now, can you see that? Did the camera catch that? Valdez, did you catch the pencil trick?
Sorry,
Okay,
we were
all
on
right.
mute talking.
Okay. Where did I get this?
Was that in your pocket?
Oh. Anyway, see, when I held out the pencil to you and then took it away from you, it made you want it more.
Yeah.
So when you finally got it, there was a sense of accomplishment. Now, when you know what's going to happen, and it happens, you feel good about it. Now, if you know what, if you have an expectation of something and then it doesn't happen, you may be disappointed. But either way, just like the horror movie trick, you're playing the game. So I'm going to play this tune again. I'm going to play the tune twice. I'm going to play it once the way we've learned it, up there with the form up there at the top, and then I'm going to do it a second time. I want to change something and see if that's not fun. So here it is from the beginning. it was kind of stupid. But what I'm saying is that when you were expecting certain things and you got them, you had a certain feeling of fulfillment. And when the Star-Spangled Banner crept in there, that was a fairly unwelcome surprise. But it was definitely a surprise. I mean, if you hadn't been not expecting the Star-Spangled Banner, then it wouldn't have been one way or the other. And if you had been expecting the Star-Spangled Banner, you would have had the same feeling of fulfillment that you had when these other things happened that you were expecting. So the word expectation is very much a part of what we're doing. So learning the musical forms that we get into is going to be one of the ways in which you get a feeling of fulfillment from listening to this music. So, with all our technical difficulties, we still managed to cover some material, I hope. Are there any questions about what we've just done?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, then let's see you next Tuesday. Your assignment is the Kerman, the middle ages 57 through 75. And hopefully we'll have some sound files working this time.